Is the industry going through hard times? Coming up. Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. Thanks for coming back to the channel. I think I'm still on holiday. No, actually, when you're watching this, as it's Monday, this is my first day back from my holidays. So I will be able to answer your comments and answer your messages in the comments again. That's great timing because today it's time for another Q&A session on the channel. Those of you who have followed have seen that the last one I did in a co-live session with Robert Gebhardt, and that was really well received. So I will definitely continue that for the next one, which will be after the summer break. So I will ask, other content creators and other interested people within the industry if they want to join me for a co-live, so we can do them like every second day. Every second time, not every second day. That would be too much. As always, I prepared a few questions here on the second screen. I will read them off, show them over my head, and answer them straight after. If you want to be included in the next one, make sure to ask your questions down below under this video. I always take them from the previous Q&As. The first question comes from Call Me Ray. Hello, I wondered through what means do clients pay? PayPal, credit card, etc. Very good question. That's often, sometimes I forget where people stand in the process, and that this may seem like a simple question, right? But it's very important in the beginning, especially if you do international trade. Most of our clients are not within our country, so it can become tricky. Now for me, most of my clients pay normal by bank transfer, right? Because most of my clients are within Europe, and within Europe we have this European payment system. So memory card was full, sorry about that, and now the sun has set, so I'll probably look a bit different in terms of lighting. Anyways, in Europe it's very easy. You pay by bank transfer. I write my IBAN number on my invoice, and that's it. I have one client from the US, and they like to pay via PayPal. I'm not a fan of it, but for this one client I'm saying, okay, let's do it. I don't work too much with them, so they pay me maybe, I don't know, $100 or so a month, and it's just goes through PayPal. I have to pay a commission if I took it to my bank account, but usually I leave that money on the PayPal, and certain things are easy to pay with PayPal, so I use this money as kind of a way of paying certain things. So it's rare that I transfer money from PayPal to my bank account because I don't want to pay the commission. Credit card I'm not doing. I would not recommend you doing that because you want to receive your money. You don't want to have the hassle of going after people's money that they can't pay the credit card bills in a few months. So definitely, if you live in a place where the infrastructure allows it, just do normal wire transfer, bank transfer. If not, all these things like TransferWise, PayPal, etc., they're okay. Just you have to deal with the consequence that there is a fee. Right? Second question comes from Human Paul. He's or she is a frequent asker of questions, so thank you very much. Hi Adrian, thank you very much for your Freelanceverse content. It's very useful. First of all, how were your beginnings as a freelancer? Did you specialize in sports from day one, or did you do general translations until you were able to make a living from your specialty? And secondly, what do you think is the most demanded, especially nowadays? I have a degree in humanities, and now I want to do an introductory course in translation because I have no idea, or maybe do a master's degree in translation. I don't know which specialization yet. According on my degree, I might specialize in humanities, for example, arts, literature, etc. Is that a good niche? Thank you. Very good question, thank you. I'm gonna try to answer these in kind of two separate parts. First of all, my beginnings, I definitely did not start out in sports. That was very by accident that I got into this industry. To be honest, I started out as a generalist and with focus on IT. And I have to be honest, this was mainly because I thought that there would be money in this specialization, right? I thought, oh, this is going to be needed, etc. But I very quickly figured out that even though I liked it, it was not my passion, right? I didn't really enjoy these types of content. It was a lot of just manual translations and product descriptions, etc. And because the real technical IT part I couldn't do because people went for actual computer scientists turned translators, right? So I by accident found a client in the retail area, so I did some retail descriptions for them, and then they sent me stuff for sports related to retail. So I did a lot of football boots descriptions, running gear, running jersey, running shoes. And that's when I realized, I really like this industry. This is cool. And so from this one client, I then branched out and found more different clients. I had amazing connections through this first client. And that's how I slowly phased out the generalist part and the IT part. I still do some generalist work for some agencies, but it's now really very, very focused on sports, and which I like. This is exactly where I feel like I should be in this industry. But don't fear if you're not sure what you should start out in. Rather start as a generalist. Rather start now than thinking 3 months what you want to specialize in, because these 3 months you rather have experience in something than just thinking about it, right? That's way more important. Secondly, most demanded specialty nowadays, it's hard to say, and I hesitate a bit to say that, because you don't want to go after the ones that are in demand, because you will not be, if it's not your specialty, actually, if you're not an expert in it, and if it's not your passion, you cannot compete with the ones that have this passion and this expertise, right? So I see you have a degree in humanities. That's very broad. You have to narrow it down, as you said, arts, literature, etc. I did a specialized episode about arts and culture. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. I'm going to link it up here. That's an amazing niche. It's very not in extremely high demand, but if you get into it, you can easily become the one guy or the one girl in your language that goes to the museums and works with arts institutions. So if you are the top percent in this niche, it's relatively easy, let's say, to become unique, to become one of a kind, because it's not such a broad niche, right? Hope that answers your question. Let's move on to number 3. Comes from Afifakhan 8137. Hello Adrian, I'm taking Arabic language as my career. How much time it will take for my specialization in Arabic? Please reply. I am replying. I'm going to try my best because I'm not exactly sure I understand your question. Taking Arabic language as my career. So you want to become an Arabic translator, I'm assuming. And if this is not your native language, is what I understand from this sentence. So you're learning Arabic in order to translate from Arabic into your native language. How much time will it take for my specialization in Arabic? I'm going to answer this as I understand it. If you are learning a new language and you want to work with it, let's assume I would learn, like I'm constantly learning a bit of Hungarian, but it's probably never going to be as good that I can use it for my work. But if this was my goal, I were to make this attempt, I would have to get my language level to at least a B1, let's say, if you know the industry standard or the international standard of language knowledge. A B1 is intermediary. You can speak, you can communicate, but you don't have to be fluent for your second language, right? The language you're translating from into your native language, this doesn't need to be fluent. B1 is sufficient, but B1 is already a high level, right? You can communicate with everyone on the street with a B1 easily. So I would never dare to use my Hungarian. Sorry, there was a honk. I didn't know if you heard that. I would never dare to use my Hungarian as a source language. If you are learning Arabic from scratch, it's going to take you a good few years. I would say if you are taking it seriously and practice every day and go to school, you can probably expect to be able to work with Arabic in like 3 years, maybe. Maybe you're much quicker, but that's what I would assume to learn a language from scratch. If you already have a basic level, you can probably do it in 1-2 years. I hope that answers your question. Number 4 from Izzy and Christ. What if you don't have a lot of experience and all of your experiences were customer service? It would be nice to see a physical example as well. Physical example, I assume, of someone who lived through that, right? Who doesn't have experience as a translator but turned translator. There are plenty of experiences out there, right? Just look for it. I myself personally know many people who came from a completely different career, switched to translations, and now specialize in the career that they were before. Now, I get you might say, oh, I can't specialize in customer service. But that's not the point. You didn't do customer service on the topic of customer service. You did the customer service on a specific topic, right? Even if this is not your passion, that's fine, but you have experience in it. If you were customer service in something connected to the phone or telecommunication, right? That's the area. If you were customer service in a car company, that's the area, that's the industry. This you need to make sure to use to your benefit. Even if you don't want to, even if this is not where you want to end up in, that's perfectly fine. But make sure to use your experience to your advantage. So don't say you did customer service, say you worked in the automotive sector for 2 years, right? In this sector for 2 years. That's how you can tweak your experience without lying. You don't lie to anyone. But of course, customer service doesn't look good on a translator CV, but something else within the industry that you want to specialize in would definitely. Check on LinkedIn, check on YouTube. There are plenty of people who share their story, how they pivoted from one career to translation, and they have amazing examples. Even on my channel, I mean, I talked to Susie Withers once, I talked to Marike very early on. Check my channel. They both of them are now working in the language industry and had nothing previous to do with it. They simply took their network from the previous job, wrote everyone they know, I'm doing this now, can I help you with that? And now they work in the field. 5th question, there is a fly really annoying me. I hope you can't pick that up on camera, but it's really loud. Anyways, good day, Jula. Good day, Adrian. Just another thank you for this video. I'm working on partial transition. Oh, okay. I'm working on a partial transition from in-house to freelance, so it's worth knowing what's going on the other side. And all of your videos are so beneficial. Judging by my current experience with one of rated LSPs, the industry is surviving hard times. Did you notice it? Are you worried about the decline in rates and projects? Any ideas for how long it could be? I have no idea for how long it could be. I see some kind of reversal though. I see especially some people that, well, I have not noticed it, to answer your first question, right? I've noticed it in terms of other colleagues talking about it, no question. But me personally, I have not seen a decline in rates in projects, not at all. I'm always very busy and I'm lucky in that regard. But I heard from clients that it's slowly picking up again. Oh no, not from clients. Did I say clients? I heard from colleagues that lost a lot of clients that it's slowly picking up again. And funny enough, some clients are coming back to them that previously pivoted to MT, to AI, when the hype was on the peak, and they're kind of coming back to them and saying, okay, we tried it, it didn't work, we still need your help. Which is a nice sign. But then I also see plenty of other examples on LinkedIn where people leave the industry in droves. Which is depressing to see, and a lot of people that I value, that I know personally as well, are struggling. You see it from an LSP side, and it's always a bit of a dichotomy going on in the industry. Like the LSPs are saying, oh, our industry is booming, we will reach 100 billion by this and this date, whereas the freelancers are saying, the industry is crumbling, right? We have no work. So you can't really judge it by what LSPs are saying in the big journals, you know, that has nothing to do with the freelancers. For me personally, I realized that working for LSPs is long-term not a good idea for me. It has various reasons. I'm not going to go into detail. It's just if you can work with either smaller boutique agencies or direct clients that can rely on you and that are not huge corporations, but it's more a personal relationship. That's where I, as a human being that, you know, values the other side as a human being as well, that's where we can find together and make the best possible product happening. And that's where I'm focusing on now. If you're making the transition from in-house to freelance, I understand that you coming from an LSP, you probably only see now this world where you were in before, and you think, oh, I will actually be a freelancer for big LSPs. If you want to, fine, go for it. It's just, for me, this is too much like factory work. You know, you get a job, within a few seconds, you have to reply, you have to immediately do it and done. You don't have time to think about the company culture, think about the consequences that your text has, where it will be read, where it will be used. And these are all things that I like to incorporate into my daily life. I mean, worried. I see what's going on, and it's not nice to see, of course, but I feel like I established myself well enough to bounce, not even bounce back, but to kind of evade these things. So for me personally, I'm not worried, but of course it sucks to see my friends and colleagues going through tough times. I have one more question, question number 6. It's not opening. There we are. From Caroline Debian. Hello Adrian, I love your videos. Thank you very much. They're giving me hope and motivation. Thank you so much. I wonder, how do you approach volunteering work? I realize we have never touched the subject of copyright in my undergraduate degree. For example, can we translate an article without the authors knowing for the benefit of the target audience? This comment was, I think, made on my permission paradox video where you can build your own portfolio. If you are just using it to practice, you can translate any text, right? The problem with copyright only comes up when you are using it to make money. If you are trying to sell that as your own piece, as your own work, then it's copyright. But if you're using an article online to work on it and to get practice, to show your skills and stuff, then there is no copyright issue. So you don't have to worry about that. Just never use it as a sales tactic, never use it as a piece of content that you made or that you wrote. Then it becomes tricky. There you have to be careful. Volunteering work, how I approach it. At the moment, I don't do any translation volunteer work, or my volunteer work that I do is here local in Brussels, in the city. So I don't do any linguistic based volunteer work anymore. I definitely did. I used to do volunteer for TED Talks, the German TED division. I did Translator Without Borders as well. I had some conflicting information recently that they may or may not take new translators. Someone commented once they don't take anyone new, and then someone replied, yes they do, I just started new. So you just have to try it out yourself if they take new ones in your country. I can definitely recommend these 2 things to do. And then there are plenty more on LinkedIn. I always see charity organizations looking for translators. I think Prose has also something like Prose Pro Bono. I'm not exactly sure. I know that Andrew Morris is involved in that, so check it out on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on Prose itself. You can definitely find the information there. It's a great way to build portfolio, right? Because in the beginning, it's hard to get clients that is paid work, so why not do volunteer work? First of all, you can practice the craft, you become better. You have something to your name. You can say, I did this for this company, for this charity. It doesn't matter whether it's paid or not. It's experience, right? You can add it to your CV. And third, you do something good for someone that is in need. So you can definitely recommend that. There you go. Let me check the time. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that length. We can go with that. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to ask your questions down below. Next week is an interesting video. I'm actually traveling to Budapest for MemoQ Fest once again. I made a video there in 2022. It's so long ago now. You can click up here. So I will make something similar. So it will be very busy days, going to conference, film, edit, etc. But it will be ready by Monday. I'm just committing this now, so I just have to do it. So next video is a conference vlog of MemoQ Fest. Hope you enjoy this type of content. It's going to be a bit different, a bit more dynamic. Really looking forward to it. I see you there. Take care. Bye bye.